Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to show you some progress here. Last night I got to monkey with my monkey, my headless monkey, that is. He's still got no head. It's still really cold here in New Jersey. I've got about 6 inches of snow still on my lawn, frozen ice, actually. So even though I'm lazy as hell, I'm still gonna fall back on the excuse that it's a little too cold in my basement to spray. But last night I decided to break out the brushes, and I decided to give him some paint. This is just the first coat. Needs more than that, obviously. But last night when I was doing it, I thought it looked really good, the color-wise, the color choice. But then this morning I'm looking at him and I'm thinking it's a little too dark. So I use this Tamiya deep green, but it's, like I said, it looks too dark. It's not really the color I was originally looking for, but I thought it'd be suitable. There's a color I used on one of my other builds that it's a little brighter. I just can't remember what color it is. So I'm gonna have to either look for it, or I'm gonna have to doctor this up to make it a little brighter. And then I'm thinking using this for the folds and everything, the shadows in his uniform. I think that'll work out pretty good. But he does have some paint on him, so it's starting to come together. And I tell you, just putting this alone gives it just a whole new dimension, makes it look good. I think makes me feel good about my progress. So the other thing I worked on yesterday was the base. If you recall, I was telling you how the base itself was too new looking. Even though it's a piece of rubble, it was too new looking. The letters and everything were, crisp and everything. And I wanted to make it look older. And what I was going to do was I was going to take this material here, this Krylon stone texture paint. I've used this before, a different color on my bases, just to give it a marble type effect on the base. I decided to try this, and what I was going for was to have the stone that he sits on or stands on to be worn. It's supposed to be 3,000 years in the future from when these things were built, so they would have to be worn a little bit. So that's what I wanted to do, and here's how it came out. If you'll notice, especially the exchange piece here, it's very, it's muted down now. It's not as predominant anymore. And the crispness of the edges here and in here are all muted, and I like that a lot. Not to mention the color, the white with the black speckles and everything, looks like, in my opinion, well-weathered stone. So I'm very happy with that. I think that came out pretty good. Now it needs some more work, obviously. I'm gonna have to do some weathering to it, the shadows, because now that I muted this, I want to bring it back out again. So I'm thinking maybe a little bit of pastel dust in here to help with the shadows and bring it out a little bit. But the color is cool. I'm very happy with the color. I still have to do the moss that over here that's growing on the rock, and I have an idea for that, but I have to get some material for that. And then back up. Then this part, the sand where the monkey stands, I'm going to change the color of that to make it look more sand-like. But the rocks are, to me, are all supposed to be like ruins, like Roman dyslexia is a terrible disease. I was the only one on Halloween to go trick or trout. Oh, it's the pit boy. Let's give him some fish. If you've seen, I've never been to Rome, but if you see pictures of Rome, it's just the marble is just crumbled all around the place, and that's what I was going for here. That's what I want these to be, is just more parts of the ruins, and then this will be the sandy base. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So for now, hopefully I'll get some more work done tonight, but for now that's my monkey and his base, and that's it. So, till next time, be strong. And welcome back. We're back working on our Planet of the Apes Cornelius figure, and I think, in this case, third time's a charm. I finally got the color for his uniform, or his costume, his clothes, correct, I think. When I started, I forget what first color I used, but it turned out it looked fine when I was mixing it, and then when I woke up the next morning, I looked at it, it was just too dark. And then I tried this color again. When I mixed it and everything, it looked right. This is deep green from Tamiya XF26. It looked better when I painted it, and then the next morning came again, and it was again way too dark. So I had to go searching through my stuff again and see what I found. And this time I pulled out Model Master's Interior Green. When I stirred it up and everything, it looked too bright, but having been burned 2 other times, I figured I'll give it a shot. And voila, it actually looks pretty damn close to what it should be. So that's where we are right now. It's got 2 coats of the interior green on his pants and shirt. I did 1 coat so far of leather for the leather bits. The inner sleeves on his garment here, they are the burnt umber from the craft paints, which is the same color I'll use on his hair and his skin. I mean, not his skin, but his fur, just like I did on the Zero project. He's still headless, obviously. I gotta do the head. And that's going to be next. But I also was doing some work on the base. And here we got the base. Here's the exchange wall that we talked about. If I do this a couple times, you might be able to still see the exchange words here. What I'm probably going to do is do a little bit more weathering of some kind to bring that out a little bit. I don't want it to be as predominant as it was out of the box, but I want it to have a little bit of visual to it. On the top, you can see here, and on the back, we worked on the moss that was on the top, and for that I used this woodland scenic material. This is the fine grass. Oops, it's leaking all over me. That's what I used for that. So just put some scenic glue on top, sprinkled it on when it was in a bowl, so I collected what fell off, let it dry, sprayed it with the scenic glue to give it a hard coating, put more glue on it, sprinkled it again until I got it built up to where I wanted. I wasn't worried about it being so raw, unclean. It didn't have to be perfect because it shouldn't be. And I also made some stain marks on the base here. It doesn't show up too well in the camera, but it does. It looks like, I don't know, I think it looks natural. So that is the wall. Then on the base itself, I continue to use the Woodland Scenics material. Just kind of played it by ear what I wanted. The green moss around, broken up on the rocks, and then this color is earth. I originally tried the ground to be sand, and just kind of didn't work out very well. Didn't like the look. So I ended up redoing it with the earth, spread around some more of the moss and grass type color, and that's what I got. The stone comes out from it. I think it looks pretty good. So this is almost done. This fits in very well. And then if I move back out, we put our headless Cornelius in here, and we get an idea of what it should look like. So that's where we are right now. I gotta get to work. I want to do another coat on his leather. I gotta do his skin colors and his head, and then do some other augmenting colors to his tunic and his clothes, make it look a little more lifelike, and then tone the whole thing down with some dull coat. So that's it for now. Till next time, be strong.